Generation and conduction of nerve impulses. So to understand this concept of conduction of nerve impulses, first we'll study the basic structure of the neuronal membrane. How is it and all those things. Then later on we'll talk about the generation of impulses, how the impulses can get generated. Right. So this is the basic structure of the neuron. As you all studied that neuron is with the cell body called cyton, dendrites, axon. Axon is with terminal cytons and everything. We are not studying all those things right now. We'll be just concentrating on the neural membrane. So entire neuron is surrounded by neuronal membrane, and that of axon is surrounded by axonal membrane. Neurons are excitable as well as polarized. So neurons are polarized as well as they are excitable cells. Neurons are polarized as well as excitable cells. Now, the membrane of the axon is called axonal membrane, and outside the neuron they are placed in a fluid which is called extracellular fluid. Here everywhere there is extracellular fluid. Due to the differential concentration of ions on both sides of the axonal membrane, neurons are said to be polarized. Okay, so which ions, due to which ions neurons are polarized? So how this neurons gets polarized? That's our question. To understand this, so let us study how exactly this axonal membrane is. So this is an axonal membrane which is a lipid bilayer. In this axonal membrane called lipid bilayer are present different types of leaky channels. Simply they are called pores. So let us find out how exactly the neuronal membrane is. The neuronal membrane is with number one, first, ion channels. These ion channels can also be known as leaky channels. Fine. Where are these in this? There are leaky channels, ion channels. These are always open, they are permeable. Now, these ion or leaky channels are present for both potassium and for sodium. These ion channels or leaky channels are present for both sodium and potassium. Also, the channels are present for chlorine and even for calcium, but we are not talking about all those ion channels here. That they do not have any significance right here right now. So here we are talking about only both potassium and sodium leaky channels. We call them as ion channels. Right, listen. So this is a potassium leaky channel. This is, the red one is potassium leaky channels. So there are potassium leaky channels that are present on the axonal membrane. And also this is a sodium leaky channel. So always remember this point. The leaky channels of potassium are more and leaky channels of sodium are less. This is the first thing, just remember. So I can say that the axonal membrane is more permeable to potassium than sodium because of more potassium leaky channels than sodium leaky channels. Next, along with this, there are some voltage gates. So why they are voltage gates? Generally they are closed, but they get open due to a specific stimulus. If a stimulus is given, they get open. So because of that, we call them as voltage gates. There are voltage gates are also present on these neuronal membrane, which we are calling it as now at the axon we are studying, it's axonal membrane. So what are those voltage gates? The voltage gates are present for sodium. There are sodium voltage gates. Sodium voltage gates. For sodium, there are voltage gates are present. So look, this is for the sodium voltage gates. And for sodium, there are two voltage gates. This is called activation gate for sodium, and this is inactivation gate of sodium. So for sodium, there are two voltage gates. One is the activation gate, the other one is inactivation gate. For sodium, there are two voltage gates. Along with leaky channels, sodium is also with leakage gates. Along with leaky channels, sodium is also with voltage gates. So for sodium, there are two gates, one activation and one inactivation gate. Now, also for potassium, there is potassium voltage gate. So for this is voltage gate of potassium. So on the neuronal membrane, we have leaky channels. Leaky channels are present for sodium and potassium. Just remember here, only leaky channels for sodium and potassium. Potassium has more leaky channels, sodium has less leaky channels. Then those are nothing but called as pores or ion channels simply. Then voltage gates are present for sodium as well as for potassium, and the voltage gates of sodium are two. One is activation gate, the other one is called inactivation gate, and for potassium there is one voltage gate. This is voltage gate of potassium. And also neuronal membrane are present mechanical gates. Along with mechanical gates, ligand ion gated channels are also present on the neuronal membrane. But we are not talking about all those gates here. We are just concentrating only on two: ion channels and voltage gates. And also along with this voltage gates, we have third one, sodium potassium pump. So this is sodium potassium pump. This sodium potassium pump is responsible for transporting 3 sodium to the extracellular fluid and 2 potassium into the exoplasm. So this sodium potassium pump. So this is what is the neuronal membrane. So on the neuronal membrane, so we have ion channels, call them as leaky channels, voltage gates, and also sodium potassium pump. Resting membrane potential. A resting neuron has a voltage across its membrane, which is called resting membrane potential. This resting membrane potential is maintained by first active transport as well as passive diffusion of ions. So what is this resting membrane potential? How much is this? The resting membrane potential is minus 70 millivolts inside the axon, that is in the exoplasm. Fine, that is minus 70 millivolts. How is this resting membrane potential is maintained? So there are 3 factors responsible for maintenance of this resting membrane potential. So let us find out what are these 3 factors responsible for maintenance of this resting membrane potential. First is sodium potassium pump. So let's find out how exactly this works. Listen, this part is axon. This is axon, the same axon. This is axolemma. This is axonal membrane. This is also axonal membrane, and I can call this is axoplasm. This is axoplasm. This is axonal membrane. This is phospholipid layer. As just now we have discussed here, this axonal membrane or the phospholipid layer is with several leaky channels. So listen, this is the leaky channel for potassium. So this is potassium leaky channel. Okay, and this is sodium leaky channel. Or I can say that sodium leaky channel, or I can say that the leaky channels can also be called as ports. Okay, or I can say that they are ion channels. Then this is voltage gate of sodium. This is the voltage gate of potassium, and this is sodium potassium pump. Fine. Now I said the resting membrane potential is minus 70 millivolts. This is because of number one, the first factor that influences this is sodium potassium pump. What does it? Look here. Sodium potassium pump transports 3 sodium ions from axoplasm to ECF. This is extracellular fluid. From axoplasm to 3 sodium ions are transported to outside by the sodium potassium pump, and 2 potassium are sent into the axoplasm by this sodium potassium pump. So sodium potassium pump transports 3 sodium to outside into the ECF and 2 potassium to inside into the axoplasm. So by spending 1 ATP molecule, so ATP molecule is oxidized to adenosine diphosphate plus inorganic phosphate, because it transport this 3 sodium to outside and 2 potassium to inside by spending 1 ATP molecule. So for that reason, I can say that this is sodium potassium ATPase pump. What do you call this? This is called sodium potassium ATPase pump. So it transport 3 sodium to outside from axoplasm to ECF and 2 potassium from ECF to axoplasm. So for that, it spends 1 ATP molecule. So I can say that it's a sodium potassium ATPase pump. Fine. Now due to this transport of sodium and potassium, listen, the second character is that differential concentration of ions in the ECF and axoplasm. Because of this pump, what is it? Because it is transporting 3 sodium to outside. So always the concentration of sodium is more in the ECF and concentration of sodium is less in the axoplasm. Remember, this is the first character. Okay, sodium concentration is more in the ECF than compared to axoplasm. Next, potassium, because the potassium are getting inside. So concentration of potassium concentration is more in the axoplasm and potassium concentration is less in the ECF. In the ECF, potassium is less and more potassium in the axoplasm. Fine. Now, is there any anions along with this? Yes, there are. There are negative ions. They see the negative ions. So the negative ions that are present in the ECF are chloride ions. Chloride ions are negative ions. What are the negative ions present in the exoplasm? The negative ions of exoplasm includes proteins. The amino acids, some of the negative amino acids present in the proteins will make negative. So negative ions, some negative proteins are present in the exoplasm. And also phosphates. These are negative ions present in the exoplasm. So these negative ions of the exoplasm do not have access to the neuronal membrane. That means the axonal membrane is impermeable for these negative proteins and phosphates which are present in the exoplasm. They cannot move. So this is how there is a differential concentration of ions in the ECF and exoplasm. So remember, the concentration of sodium is more in the ECF and less in the exoplasm, and concentration of potassium is more in the exoplasm and less in the ECF. Fine. Because of this differential concentration of ions, simple, always ion move from high concentration to low concentration. So if you can consider this, always sodium is moving from extracellular fluid to exoplasm. Sodium is moving like this because sodium concentration is more in the ECF, less in the exoplasm. This makes the influx of sodium. And I said potassium concentration is more in the exoplasm. Because potassium concentration is more in the exoplasm, potassium is moving all the way from exoplasm to the ECF. So through these leakage channels, so potassium is moving. Fine. Now the question comes, which ion is moving faster? Fine. Which ion is moving faster means the axonal membrane is more permeable for which ions? So always remember the third thing, there are more potassium leakage channels than sodium. So for that reason, the neuronal membrane, that is axonal membrane, is more permeable for potassium than sodium. As a result, so differential permeability of axonal membrane. So because of this differential permeability of axonal membrane, more potassium keeps on moving into the ECF, less sodium enters inside. Because of that, outside, because of rapid outflux of potassium and slow influx of sodium, outside the axonal membrane into the ECF, it develops positive charge. It develops positive charge. It is positively charged. Outside the axonal membrane, it's positively charged because of rapid outflux of potassium. And because of rapid outflux of potassium, inside these negative anions are kept as such because potassium cannot take them. So as a result, inside is negatively charged. Inside is negatively charged. So because of this inside negative charge, fine. So during resting condition or under resting state, neuron maintains a negative potential of minus 70 millivolts. So this is how resting membrane potential is maintained. So I can say that neurons are polarized, and because of this ion channel, what is the significance of these gates, sodium and potassium voltage gates? Because of these gates, neuron gets excited. Now, You can ask me what about the gates, because I said there are voltage gates are also present on the axial membrane. Now here, because the nerve fiber is under resting, the voltage gates are not functional. So here you can see that sodium activation gate is closed, inactivation gate is open. It doesn't show any permeability for sodium ions. Potassium gate is also closed. So gates are closed. They are through the gates, no ion movement. Only ions can move through these leaky channels. So because potassium has more leaky channels than sodium, the membrane becomes more permeable to potassium than sodium, due to which it maintains a negative potential of -70 millivolts, which is called resting membrane potential.